All right, let's talk about Fantastic Four then, shall we? So I went and saw this. I did not, growing up, knew about the Fantastic Four. I think I saw them in a couple of cartoons or something back in the day, but I never read the comics. At least maybe I might have seen one, but so I knew what they were. Wasn't all that into them. When I saw they were making a movie out of it, I was like, I don't really care because I was never that into it. Um, I was excited for Superman because everybody loves Superman, and frankly, the I had grown a little bit weary of the naysaying that people were saying about it leading up to the Superman release. So I was like, even if I wasn't excited, I'm going to go see it anyway because so many people are saying they think it's going to suck. If that makes any sense. With Fantastic Four, I didn't care. And I wasn't really intending to see it because it's like, whatever. Plus, Marvel's been kind of screwing the pooch lately and talk about preaching. But again, after how wonderful Superman was, and going back and looking at the same naysayers with nothing good to say about in the lead up to this one, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go see this because I think these guys may just be wrong again. So on Friday, I went to the matinee. Went and saw it, and coming out of it, I was like, man, that was really good. I liked it a lot. And I did like it. Did like it a lot. And I was like, okay, coming out, I was like, did I like it as much as Superman? No. Superman was just wonderful in many ways, which I've talked about before. But Fantastic Four, I was like, man, that was fun. And I liked it. I liked liked a lot of things about it. Now, later on, as the day went on, and I was thinking about it some more, I liked it a bit less. That's because I started thinking a little bit more about what happened in it. But still liked it overall. Not as good as Superman, but still good. So let's talk about, without giving stuff away, what I dug about it. So first of all, a lot of people had a lot of going into it like, oh, I don't know about Pedro Pascal. Oh, man, I hate that guy. He's not going to do a good job. Well, I thought he did a pretty good job. I don't know what Reed Richards is supposed to be like from the comic books because I haven't read the comic books. To me, it seemed like he was playing him kind of autistic, like smart, but not really able to relate or really truly get out what he's thinking or not understanding how to interact so well. And a lot of people have criticized that he was a little bit wooden, and I think maybe that's why, because of the... All right, Pointy, you used up some of your goodwill there. Binks is saying Pedro is the greatest actor of this or any age. I wouldn't go that far. I think he did fine with this one. Again, I think just the way he was playing it, I think, like I said, I think he was playing it a little bit on the spectrum, and so that's where people were criticizing him for being wooden. I think that's a function of how he was choosing to play it, vice a function of his ability, if that makes any sense. The best character was the Torch. The Thing was pretty good too. I liked how they got into, because the Thing's situation sucked, right? You get turned into stone, but he's still a man, and he's got that crush on the teacher, the one teacher that he meets, and is like, well, how's that going to work? You can see he's sort of melancholy. I guess in the comics, he was portrayed as being mad at Reed. That didn't come through, but like how he did that. A lot of people were worried about girl bossiness, and a lot of people were pissed off about the Silver Surfer being the girl Silver Surfer instead of the guy. I guess there was a girl Silver Surfer in the comics at one point. I guess. I don't know. I have a couple of the original Silver Surfer comics in my little small collection up there, and I always liked that character. But it didn't bother me. I didn't care enough that the sex swap bothered me that much. I did think she did a good job with it. And the portrayal of the surfer and her abilities and powers and the situation she's in, I thought was pretty good. The Sue, the wasn't the boss lady. Everybody, there was a whole bunch of rumor mongering going on ahead of it. There's like, she's calling the shots. Reed's just following her lead. It's like, no, they had split responsibilities. He was overall in lead. Reed's overall in lead. He's doing the Senate stuff. He's leading the team. She's in the public relations side. And so she's talking to the political people, and, you know, and so they sort of split responsibilities, and, you know, she's pregnant and getting to be a mom and being a little emotional about, as women will in that sort of circumstances. And so I thought that the balance between them worked out pretty well, and the dynamic of the team was great. The world, the 60s-esque setting, the retro future was really well done. Very, very cool, but same on one side, the way it was, the art direction, all that sort of thing. But it also felt a little shallow in that everybody's, yeah, rah, yeah. You know, the oh shucks kind of thing going on with the world at large, until it wasn't. It just seemed to... there's not time to go into huge depth about every character in the world, but it did seem a little, shallow in that the sense of seemed to be no controversy about the team at all until events of the story go on. The story takes place 4 years into their Fantastic Four career, so they've established themselves as the big heroes and everybody loves them, so maybe that's why. But there was a little lacking there. What else was great about it? The story itself was cool. I remember seeing Galactus in the Silver Surfer comic that I've read in the past, and thinking he was impressive. And his portrayal at the beginning was very good. At the end, towards the final battle, it's like, seems like it diminished him a bit, but that's okay. It was still pretty good. And the conundrum, don't think this gives away the whole I'll spare the planet if you give me your kid kind of thing from him. That's a quandary to be in. Now, I mean, that's what turns the populace sort of against them for like 2 seconds. From a rational point of view, it would be like, well, here, take the kid. But I know that's not just the rash. But they could have explored that tension with the public better, I think. Let's see, what else? The space scenes are great. But I'll tell you and a few other things. But one thing, this is going to be funny. One thing that just killed me was like, they go out to space, they meet Galactus, they try to negotiate to fail to come back, and she gives birth on the way back. And I'm watching them walk out of the ship and go to the press conference, and Sue's carrying the kid, and I'm like, damn it, woman, would you support that kid's head? It's a newborn, and she's holding it like a belt, and the hands down here, and the head's up here. I'm like, it's a newborn! What are you doing? Because anyone who's battled with the newborn knows they can't support their own head because the brain develops much more in the womb than the body. So first several weeks until it gets strong enough so the next to support it, you got to give them some head support. Otherwise, the kid's going to get hurt. And she's holding the kid upright. And I'm through several of these scenes. I'm a little bit checked out, not because I'm like, support his head. What are you doing? Which is a weird thing to get checked out about that. But that's where I was. So yeah, lots of like there. The way the situation was resolved, I left a little, and some of the hoops they have to jump through. In retrospect, it left a little bit less of a good taste in my mouth, and which I guess the doll broke its neck. Well, maybe Binks, but I guess we'll get into a couple spoilers here. Like, so they end up deciding, oh well, we can't, we're not going to give our kid up, and the public's turning against them. Oh my goodness! And as well the public should. I mean, they leave the press conference, like, what do you mean you're not giving him the kid? Everyone's like, give him the kid. And like, no, we're going to find another way. And then Sue comes out, and everybody's getting ready to lynch her, and then she has this speech, which was a good speech, but it's like, you're surrounded by this crowd, you give a 3-minute speech, and everyone's like, oh, okay then, cool. We're back on your side again. It's like, what? Nobody's going to try to jump her and take the kid? I mean, it seemed like it was a little too easily resolved there. And then they have this plan where he develops a teleporter at the very beginning of the movie that can move an egg with a whole lot of power. And then it's like, hey, we're going to teleport the whole planet. It's like, really? It's a little sudden. The other thing that the timeline's a little weird too, because at one point they dump the Silver Surfer into a gravity well. It's going to take her a month to get out of there, but their hyperdrive is broke, so they have to slingshot around to get up to relativistic speeds to be able to even get back to Earth. And it's like, boom! The next day, Galactus arrives in the solar system. So, oh, snap, he's in Jupiter. And then it seems like it takes a month. Not really, but it's like 10 minutes to get there, and then like 2 days to get the rest of the way to the planet. It's like, really? So the flow of time's a little strange. And it has to be, they have to have time to prepare, but you could have done that by having him show up later. You know he's coming, but it just seemed a little weird that he's at Jupiter. 25 minutes later in the movie, oh, and now he's at Mars. So wait a minute. That aspect of pacing could be weird. Other good thing I liked was the, like I said, Johnny at the Torch. He does a lot of great stuff. There was a lot of worries going into him about some people were trying to make it sound like he was going to be a sissy boy from the previews, but no, he was a good dude. Probably the best, most heroic of them all. But the interaction between him and the Surfer is cool. He figures out a bunch of stuff about her and learns her language and all that stuff, and plants the seeds of doubt. And here we go into another spoiler area. A lot of people have really criticized the ending, because at the end they're knocking Galactus through the portal to get rid of him, and he's managing to pull himself back in, and Johnny's like, oh, I'm gonna go take him out. I'm gonna make the big sacrifice. He's gonna go in, and then all of a sudden the Surfer comes in, knocks him aside, and Silver takes her in, pushes Galactus through the portal instead of him. And it's like, oh, it's like Rose Tico. Well, no, it's not, right? Because they had character moments, so they actually didn't like each other, but had a little connection going between the Torch and Surfer. But also, he planted doubts in her about what she was doing, recalling, playing back some things of what she had done to other planets at Galactus's orders. And then he offered to sacrifice himself, and she said, no, it's not your sacrifice to make, and then departed. And then the next time you see her, she's knocking him aside and pushing Galactus in. It's like, it could have used one more scene. It wouldn't have to be much, just a minute of her, wrestling with it. And it's like, oh, I had put all this stuff out of my head, but what am I doing? Oh, or maybe her talking to Galactus, saying, expressing doubts, and him being a jerk or whatever. One more little linchpin to solidify it that, yes, she's turning, as opposed to just from out of nowhere. It's not really out of nowhere because they did foundation, but they needed the one small little scene. Wouldn't have to be much to make that more believable and less Deus Ex. If that makes any sense. Yeah, and then there's the whole, another spoiler, Sue dies, but then the baby brings her back to life. And it's like, okay, as soon as she's on the ground dying, it's like, okay, she's not dying, and the CPR is going to work. It's like, oh, wait, no, they get the ultra-powerful kid. Okay, it's a little weird, but fine. It's gotten to the point with me in movies where the characters dying, but you know the character's not going to die. It's sort of fake drama, so why bother with the fake drama? I get the way they're doing it, but while they're there trying to do CPR on her, wasn't feeling it at all because I knew she wasn't going to be dead, but also it was like, just I liked her, but maybe I didn't like her that much, if that makes any sense. Now, when Johnny started charging towards Galactus to make his kamikaze run, I felt that one. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And he's sad to see this guy go, and then he didn't get to go. But so that was a little mishandled, I think, that whole thing. Yeah. And, of course, looking back on it, I think it would have been nice to have seen a smaller story with them doing hero stuff to establish them better, before you get this movie of the huge end of the world threat. Because like from 0 to 200 in one movie, whereas you could have had another one. Just what, it wouldn't have to be an origin story, but something with smaller stakes to build it up to it. Maybe even the same. You'd have to make the movie longer, but a smaller stakes conflict thrown in there to establish them a little more. There's a lot of time in this movie with Reed at the chalkboard pondering, and some other people have talked about this too. Could have put a smaller enemy in there to establish it a little better instead of all the chalkboard talk, or maybe just another movie. But you know, I guess the only other problem I've got is that the next time we're going to see them is going to be in Avengers Doomsday. And it's like, okay. Well, I already see how that's going to happen, because the end credit scene is Sue goes away to get a book. It's 4 years later, the kid's grown a bit, and she comes back, and there's Dr. Doom sitting down next to him. So Doom's going to kidnap the kid, transmortify over to this universe's Earth, and they're going to have to find a way to follow him to rescue their kid, and they're going to link up with whoever the Avengers are. And that's how I see it coming. Playing out based on what they've shown. But I'm not sure how well that works. I'm not a big fan of the whole multiverse. It's just, even just from the physics side of things, it's a stupid theory. But also from a storytelling perspective, it takes all stakes. The multiverse thing takes all stakes out of it. It's like, oh, well, we lost there, but they won 1 billion other places. It's like, oh, well, we'll just transfer to a different universe. Like, I don't like it. But this is set on the Earth 828. I think the rest of the Marvel thing is in 616, something like that. Which is funny because in some of the Greek translations of Revolution, there's a couple of Greek manuscripts of Revelation where the number of the beast is actually 616 instead of 666. So I wonder if they did that on purpose with the 616 thing. Probably not, but it'd be cool if they did. I guess, sort of Easter egg kind of way. But no, overall, dug it. Liked Superman more. There's a little more heart to Superman, a lot more fun. I mean, there was fun in this one, but not as consistently fun, if that makes sense. And also, Superman was not the world-ending stakes. I mean, there was the end when the contraption, the pocket universe contraption is going haywire and it's spraying the rift, and but it's not like the Galactus-style intentional destruction of the Earth scenario. It's a conflict between Lex and Superman, right? A little bit smaller, a little bit easier to push the I believe button on immediately. And man, Superman gets a lot of criticism because there are so many characters, and people are like, oh, it should have been more Superman, whereas this one's a lot more tight. There's literally the 4 of them. Their little manager person, the robot, Mole Man, Galactus, and Silver Surfer, and that's pretty much it, except for a couple small little bit roles. Oh, and the teacher that the thing has a crush on. So it's a lot tighter in that sense. But because of that, you don't really get as much good a feel for the world. Whereas Superman, there's a lot more characters, and they're all well fleshed out, and it lets you see the world in toto a little bit better from my perspective, if that makes any sense. So I like them both. I like Superman more. Fantastic Four, not as much. I have some quibbles with it, but it's not like it was. The quibbles are not, you know, story breaking or movie breaking. Just things that I think could have done better in some ways. But no, it's gonna be good. It doesn't make me enthused for Avengers Doomsday, though. It doesn't. Superman makes me enthused for, I think Supergirl coming up is going to be fun. The TV stories, the shows they're putting out on HBO Max is going to be fun. Like I said, I renewed my HBO Max subscription because I wanted to see the Penguin, but also because they're putting out some stuff in the same universe. It might be just as fun. Hey, I'll try it out, which I didn't anticipate myself doing. So in terms of doing its job of getting the viewer psyched for the next thing to come, I think Superman was a lot more effective for establishing the DCU and the excitement for going forward than this was to establish and lead into Doomsday, if that makes any sense. So that's my thoughts on that. I am going to leave you with this reminder. This will be launching soon in the next few weeks here on Kickstarter. You can look up Rig for Space on there, or just go to michaelkingswood.com/rigkick, and that'll take you to this thing. You can click here to notify, and you will get an email when you have when the thing launches, so you can come back it quickly. There'll be Rig for Space on here, Warfare Qualified, and a few other fun things you can get if you haven't done Warfare Qualified yet. Remember, check out Warfare Qualified. It is over here on Amazon and over here on my site and everywhere else that great books are sold. If you haven't read it yet, you should. You'll love it. And check this out. This tells you about it.